Hello and welcome to the Discover Virginia Beach podcast. I'm your host, Joseph Trahan, your tour guide to the Virginia Beach area. If this is your first time listening, I am so glad you found this show. Each week, I publish a new interview with locals ranging from musicians, government officials, CEOs, artists, and much more. And my aim is simple. It's to help you discover, define, and then go out and do exactly what you're looking for during your next vacation, relocation, or outing to the Virginia Beach area. And if you're looking to join in on the conversation, take part in monthly giveaways, and get your hands on my custom event calendars, head on over to Facebook and send me a friend request. That's Joseph Trahan. And check out my Facebook group of nearly 50,000 fans of the Virginia Beach area. Don't worry about writing anything down. The links for each episode, along with the Facebook groups, will be in the description below and also in the show notes. All right, here's the show. Mr. Dapper, what's on the channel?
Yes, sir.
We are here at one of the premier locations with Mr. Dapper himself, probably one of the best dressed men in all of Virginia Beach and possibly in the Baltimore region, featured on Virginia Pilot magazine article, as well as, I had to look this one up, Luke, not gonna lie with you, that was the Voyager in Baltimore. I've heard it's very prestigious as well. And we have the accolades to prove it. This is a live recording episode, so definitely go and check out, if you are just listening to the audio, the full live video. That way you can see in-depth tour of everything Mr. Dapper has going on and all of the cool and customizable features of fashion that he can offer you when it comes to that next event or just looking to upgrade your closet. Mr. Dapper, we're super excited to have you today.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, would you mind getting started with walking us through what got you to the Virginia Beach area, and then, of course, what got you to stick around and build your life and your business here?
Okay. Yes, sir. Absolutely. So I'm originally from Baltimore, grew up in Baltimore, born and raised, joined the Navy. So the Navy is what brought me to the Hampton Roads area. Did 22 years Navy. As I was retiring, my boys were in high school. I have two older boys and have a younger daughter. So when I was retiring, I didn't want to just pull them out of school and move back to Maryland. So they were here going to Lansdowne High School in Virginia Beach. They have since both graduated, but I'm still here, started my business here, and my daughter is now going to school here as well.
Wonderful. That's awesome. And definitely great schools. Shout out to Virginia Beach High Schools.
Absolutely.
For sure. Can you walk us through your journey through the military service to then launching Dapper Luke? Could you share with us maybe some pivotal moments or some highlights that stand out to you as, you know, being really definitive of this is what you're meant to do?
Absolutely. So, did 22 years Navy, as I mentioned before. When I was about halfway through, at about my 11, 12-year mark, I was actually stationed with the Marines. I was still Navy, but I was with the Marine Corps, and I was a gunnery liaison officer with them out in 29 Palms, California. If you've ever been to 29 Palms, California, there's nothing out there. You probably don't want to stay. But it was an amazing community, very small, tight-knit community, and I had my boys there coaching football. So when I deployed to Afghanistan with those folks, this was about halfway through my career, is when you're kind of making the decision in the Navy or the military. Are you going to continue on in the military? Are you going to retire? And if you do retire, what are you going to do afterwards? So for me, I've always kind of had a love for fashion. And I actually read a book by Robert Greene, 48 Laws of Power, Robert Greene. His book called Mastery asked the question, if money was not an option, what would you be doing? So I kind of figured out, I love fashion. Let me get into fashion. How can I make money doing fashion? So Dapper Luke, as you understand him, or as the name was first defined, was a blogger, fashion blogger. So that's kind of where my world of fashion started. Then from there became a stylist, a model, and worked for a designer, Clavon Leonard, out of New York. Became a mentor to me, and I was also his apprentice. He took me to New York Fashion Week, Ghana, South Africa, just kind of learning the world of fashion. So in 2019, as I kind of made that decision, okay, I'm about to retire from the Navy, that's when I said, okay, I'm going to get into the world of fashion. As I mentioned before we actually started the interview, I was going to be this amazing designer, right? That's kind of what I wanted to do when I got out of the military. COVID had other plans. They were like, we're going to shut the world down. So at that point, I had to kind of make a shift. I couldn't be the designer traveling around the world. Instead, I had to move towards custom one-on-one clients. So that's why I got into the world of custom suiting. Because again, I could do online consultations. I could do one-on-one consultations, and then I don't have this large, huge inventory that I have to hopefully get rid of. Everything is made for each individual client.
Absolutely. Wow. What a whirlwind. I mean, come on. First off, thank you for your service and thank you for the time you spent serving our country. We really do appreciate that. Any highlights or stories from your time and in the military and out in the middle of the desert of California, perhaps?
Yes, I mean, I had some very interesting. I did 4 ships, 2 cruisers, 2 destroyers. So I was always a small boy sailor. Started out enlisted, then went to the rank of chief in the Navy, and then I became an officer and I went through the rank of lieutenant commander. I was selected as lieutenant commander. I never actually wore the uniform of lieutenant commander because I retired. But, I was glad to be selected for it.
Technically.
My name is on the list. You can look up that list, and listing what they say, looking up folks is definitely important. So I actually, earned the rank, but I never actually put it on. But, I said I wanted to actually get out of the Navy, do something different, get into the world of fashion. So that's kind of where I've been right now. And I have myself done New York Fashion Week. I have done Ghana Fashion Week. I've been to South Africa. I've been to Tanzania and Algeria for my collections. And I've done quite a few bridal shows. As I mentioned before, bridal is kind of where I find my most clients. A lot of grooms want to have a different look. So that's kind of where we've been. That's kind of where I have my largest client base right now.
Yeah, wow. Well, thank you for sharing that. And what a well-traveled experience. I mean, that is incredible. Very, very jealous, and then very proud to know that you kind of settled here in the Virginia Beach area, our claim to fame here with Mr. Dapper here. So Dapper Luke, custom clothier.
Yes, sir.
Clothier, am I saying that correctly?
Absolutely.
So what does Dapper mean to you? I know when people start a business, they kind of workshop some names. Now they plug it into ChatGPT. What does Dapper mean to you?
Yes, ChatGPT did not exist back in 2014 when we discovered this name. But Dapper, it's a lifestyle, right? So I love suits. When you get into the world of fashion, right, you have streetwear, you have urban, you have casual. For me, I just gravitated towards custom suiting and the look of a well-tailored individual. So the term Dapper is what really kind of describes me in the area that I operate in. I do love dresses. I love amazing gowns. I love to style women. But me, myself, I find myself, dapper. I think it was... It's a Hugh Jackman and the gentleman that played Batman. I can't think of his name right now.
Christian Bale.
Christian Bale. They had a movie together.
The real Batman, yes.
Yes, the real. And he was one of the best Batmans.
One of the best
I will give you that. Yes. They did a movie, The Prestige, right? And in that movie, Hugh Jackman couldn't figure out why Christian Bale was so good at his act, right? And for Christian Bale's character, it wasn't an act. It was he lived his act. And that's kind of how I feel about Dapper. I can live and be Dapper every day. It's not like I have to get up and put on this cloak and dagger to be Dapper Luke. I am Dapper Luke. So it's easy for me to project that, be that, and just kind of live that every day because that's what I love. So that's kind of why I got into the realm of Dapper. It's what I understand. It's what I love. And it's what I can easily translate into my everyday life.
Love it. Very, very dapper.
Thank you.
So I understand you started off in Baltimore. Dapper Luke has a location there, still has a location there.
We started here. In Virginia Beach.
Okay, yes.
But I always wanted to have a location back home in Baltimore. And that's where the majority of my family and my wife's family are in Baltimore. So that's where I opened up my second location. So I did this one here in Virginia Beach. We opened doors March of 2020, literally as the pandemic was going down. We were like, let's start a brand new business.
Yeah.
And then August of 2022, we opened our doors in Baltimore.
Love it. And for those listening who might want to check out your shop, where are the locations at right now for Virginia Beach and Baltimore?
So Baltimore is 2414 St. Paul Street. If you're familiar with Charles 25th Street, we are a block down from 25th Street in Baltimore on St. Paul Street. And in Virginia Beach, we're at 3574 Holland Road. Both locations are appointment only, so you have to actually go online, schedule an appointment. And if you have anything coming up, like weddings, end of year, holiday parties, if you just want to get your wardrobe kind of in that dapper state of mind, Dapper. That's what we're doing. So again, just make an appointment with us. We can actually do a fitting. We have a bunch of different fabrics, and we can also kind of lay it out so you actually see what we're going to put together, and hopefully we can put something together nice for whatever client that comes in.
I love it. I love it. And so, Luke, for those looking here in the Virginia Beach area, obviously the theme is Discover Virginia Beach, but if you are in Baltimore, definitely go and check it out. For those looking here, maybe someone has a special event coming up, or maybe somewhere they need to elevate their clothing a little bit.
Absolutely.
What does the process look like for you? I know you're appointment only. And then, of course, what does the process look like, and what does a typical guest experience, what could that might look like for somebody?
Again, this is a custom showroom. If you're familiar with, you kind of have the image of this tailor shop from the movies. We are a one-on-one. So you come in, as I asked you when you first come in, can we get a drink? That can be a water beverage. It can be an alcoholic beverage, a cocktail of your choice. We do have a small bar, liquor selection. Then we kind of sit down and I begin to ask you questions. What do you have coming up? And what exactly are you trying to do? For a lot of them, it is, hey, our wedding is coming up. These are our wedding colors. So I kind of get a visual of what your wedding colors are and how we can make it unique to you. You may have something other that inspired you. Hey, we have a party coming up. I saw this on such and such celebrity and we want to kind of get that look, right? I tell my clients all the time, I don't copy, but I can be inspired by, celebrities or people that you've seen online, pictures, things of that nature. Once we actually kind of decide on a look, we get all of your custom measurements. You go to the normal kind of suit store, they're going to get your chest size and your waist size, right? We're going to do about 20 different measurements on your body.
Really? 20?
20 different measurements, yep.
Are there that many?
Yes, there are. Yes, believe it or not. Because again, we are creating, if you've heard the word bespoke is when you are creating a outline of a garment using a person's individual measurements. In the world of suits, they normally get your chest size and your waist size because they already have the outline created.
Sure. Very cookie cutter.
Right? It's very cookie cutter,
Right.
absolutely. But in the world of bespoke, we get a outline created for you, then we build your suit or tuxedo. And then once we kind of get that, the process from measurement to actually getting and trying on your garment is about 5 to 6 weeks. We can rush it in about 21 days, but typically about 5 to 6 weeks is our normal rotation for getting things done. So again, we're not a quick process, but we are a very precise and a very custom process for each individual.
It's very intentional, it seems.
Yes,
I mean,
absolutely.
even the way in which you've designed your showroom, we'll get more footage of that later. I mean, almost feels like we're walking in your closet.
Absolutely.
I tried to dress up as best as I can. Normally you see me, I'm out on a boat, in a t-shirt or jacket, but
Comfortable.
I had to put on my sweater here. I mean, we got from everything from the Lakers jersey here to different brushes and cosmetics. Say, what is your favorite cosmetic that you use in the morning?
Beard oil, shampoo, and a detangler, just to kind of, if you have a beard, the folks with the hair, you can understand it's got to be soft. It can't be itchy, can't be, rough. And for me, just a nice moisturizer for the skin. I don't do too much more than that. I'm not I don't shave, of course, anymore, and I don't have really a daily routine. Me and my daughter, we brush our teeth together in the morning. And then for the most part, just make sure the beard is clean and healthy. And
Absolutely. Nothing like a raggedy beard.
No,
going to a special event. I'm thinking of myself right now. I got to definitely go to the barbershop here soon.
We're still in No Shave November, so you're actually good. So
we're good. We're good. Technically,
right
while this is filming, we are good in No Shave November.
Yes,
I love it. So you started off Virginia Beach. Obviously, some things happened with COVID, and that really changed, it seems in a lot of ways, the trajectory of the design instinct that you had, but you still had the instinct of this very customizable, personable, very intimate setting here. Would you mind sharing a little bit about the process of, now that you have people coming through the door, you're doing consultations, how has the business evolved since it got started, and what does it look like today? Any key takeaways that you've learned along in the process?
So when we first started, it was literally the world was shut down. So for me, that was a very big opportunity to really learn this industry and kind of understand what exactly a clothier is and what we do. So that was one thing. Now that we kind of have a constant and a steady customer flow, the biggest thing I want to do is, like I said, I want to be able to provide each client with the best product they can get. So I'm constantly researching my fabrics, understanding what fabrics do what, where they come from, how they feel on your skin, what is your job, so we make sure that we are constantly giving the client the best product possible. As we mentioned, before the interview, you had mentioned, how many real estate agents there are. I kind of really know who my competition area is in the Hampton Roads as far as custom clothier. So I kind of have to know what they do, what they offer, and then what I do and what I offer. So that way I can either equal or surpass my competition whenever it comes to my client base. So for me, a big understanding of the industry that I operate in, what my clients want. When I first came into this industry, I thought I was going to be, selling to these Wall Street guys. But again, I told you my client is actually weddings. So I'm looking at, Vice trying to do fashion shows all the time. I look for bridal shows now because that's where my number one client comes from. Then we also do proms, we do events, and we do parties. So understanding what I thought my client was going to be and knowing who my client actually is now was kind of the process of evolution over the last couple of years.
Sure. Isn't that how life is in general? What you think in your head is very different sometimes than what actually happens. But I love it. I know you mentioned, and I am in the real estate space here, and there's always competition in business and ways that we can better the customer journey. What are some ways that you have elevated your experience here? Of course, that are not any secrets or secret sauces that we can keep that behind the coattail here.
Yeah, I mean,
anything that stands out to you that you might not get at another clothier experience.
So the one thing I just mentioned, we are getting all of your custom measurements, right? Some, other suit locations, they only get very basic measurements from you. So you have a outline. Over here to my right, you'll see what's called a basted. So those actual garments are from some of my clients. We've actually created garments for them, and we have that as a resource for building future garments.
You made their own clothes.
I made their own, yeah. So they have their own basted, and that is they can come in and they can say, okay, I typically get your measurements, and I like to keep them for a year, and then after that, we'll kind of reevaluate and check them. Just gonna make sure everything is still, because we can come up, we can come down as guys, So I want to make sure that everything still fits. And then also, you're actually able to go online. You can place orders for custom shoes. We also have our fabrics, some of our fabrics online. You can actually go online, look at our fabrics before you come in. And then also, like I said, you have the ability to schedule an appointment online. You don't have to come in and, try to research, when we're available. Just go to our online and actually make an appointment. And when you come in, we also ask you prior, what is your inspiration? What do you have coming up? And when is the actual date you actually need your garment? So we kind of have that information before you even come in the door.
Wow, that is very detailed. It's almost like a science. I mean, you've really figured out and nailed down exactly how to make that special event special and keep it special and keep all those people who, may need a little bit more support on the custom clothing side in line. Quite frankly, that happens a lot. You get a couple groomsmen here and there, but that's what those people need. And that's what a lot of folks need, including myself, just this guidance and this, perspective on what is the industry doing? What does it feel like? What does it look like? And what's in?
Absolutely.
Luke, what's in right now?
The color green is in. And also earth tones, right? So if you go to the typical suit store, right, you'll see a lot of blues, you'll see a lot of grays, blacks. That's kind of your everyday cookie cutter suit colors, right? But a lot of guys are moving towards earth tones. So I've been selling a lot of green suits, tuxedos, and just earth tones because, again, they kind of want to do something outside the box. So I would say if you're starting your wardrobe, I have on a gray blazer right now. It's not a bad thing to have on a gray blazer. But as you the one thing for my other clients, the ones that are like my professional clients, I want them to, when they're in a room full of suits, how do you stand out in a room full of suits?
Sure.
All right, so one way is a double-breasted, right, who's right behind you, 6-button double-breasted. If everyone else has on a 2-button suit, if you have a double-breasted on, you're going to stand out, right? And also in your pattern selection, right? So if everyone else is wearing black, blue, gray, right, you throw on an earth tone or you throw on a nice plaid, you're going to stand out. So again, part of being a professional and also kind of commanding a room is feeling very comfortable in what you're wearing and just very confident in that what you're wearing speaks for who you are. So that's important when you're building a wardrobe.
I love that. I mean, it's just how to stand out amongst people and maybe how to take control of a room. I definitely got to. Someone's got to be writing this down. I got to take some notes here because next dinner party, I'm gonna bring out the double-breasted.
There you go.
I don't know,
6-button double-breasted.
Sunday lunch, father-in-law, sit down. I will take the room from here. So when it comes to the future, Luke, of what you guys have going on as far as projects and developments and services go, are there anything anything in the limelight that we can be looking out for, or maybe future developments we can maybe be seeing a second location, anything like that coming our way?
Tertiary location. So right now we do have the two, Baltimore here. I am actually looking for hopefully a third location. I'm looking right now, North Carolina is kind of what I have my eyes on, Raleigh-Durham area.
Sure.
But even here in the Hampton Roads area, I want to get a bigger location and I want to have a ground floor. And then I also want to hopefully bring in some apprentices. I want to have folks that I can actually train to be clothiers, right? So I can begin to kind of be more on the executive level and not just your everyday. It'll still be the name Dapper Luke, but you may not see Dapper Luke every single day. And that's okay, because it's going to still be the same quality. Everyone that's going to work for me is going to be trained by me. And then you'll have the ability to kind of go online and do some more as far as like possibly designing a suit online, possibly designing your shoes. In addition to suits, we also do overcoats, we do leather coats, we do shoes, so tuxedos and suits and shirts as well. So
anything in the watch category?
I don't do anything in the watch category. I love this watch brand. This is a Hampton Roads based watch brand.
Show it here. Show it here.
Tally and Twine. Portsmouth based, Randy Williams, my guy.
Oh, shout out to Randy Williams.
Yes,
he custom watchmaker.
Yes, well, it's not custom watch. He has
Watchmaker.
the brand Tally and Twine, which is actually an intersection in Portsmouth. Tally and Twine is two streets in Portsmouth.
Okay.
But they have an amazing selection of watches, but not a custom watch that I'm aware of.
Well, hey, I mean, as custom as custom gets. I mean, a watch that is very pristine is definitely helping out with the double-breasted and the earth tones and the greens for sure.
Absolutely.
I love it, Luke. Well, thank you for sharing that. And speaking of this next section here, community is a huge part in the way we conduct our businesses here locally. And of course, the feedback we get from the community helps kind of navigate and help us steer the direction that people want. The consumers create the demand. For you all here at Dapper Luke, can you share maybe a few initiatives or changes or possibly some feedback that you've gotten that have really helped shape and mold the brand into what it is today?
So for me, the apprenticeship program was something I kind of got from speaking to some youth. I typically do the career fairs or even just kind of go to some of the local high schools here to talk to students about, what I do. Because I don't see a lot of people in my space. So I like to talk to the youth because a lot of them don't even know this job or this profession exists, right? So kind of letting them know this profession exists. And again, there are multiple ways to get to this path. Some folks go to a actual designer school, fashion school. I never went to a school, but I was an apprentice under an amazing designer. So again, there's different paths to get to whatever you want to do. So the apprentice program is kind of one of the things that I want to do to kind of have the ability for folks to learn, and also while they're learning, make money. Money is a definite motivator for a lot of young folks. As my 22-year-old told me, as he was talking about his upcoming graduation, he just wants to get to the bag, right? And
passive income, right?
And I don't know why the youth now, maybe I think it's because of social media. Everyone has to be, getting to the bag, whatever the case may be. But I told him, right, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how much money you have. Are you happy doing what you're doing? If not,
absolutely,
the amount of money you're bringing in is never going to kind of fill that hole of your unhappiness, right? So, that's kind of one tidbit I will pass on to anyone that looks to get into any profession, right? Are you happy? Do you get up every day kind of wanting to do it and wanting to learn more in this profession? That's how I feel. Every day I'm trying to figure out ways to improve, learn. I would love 1 million clients, but I don't need 1 million clients, right? I just
not yet. We gotta get the apprentices in
Correct.
first.
We
Yes,
gotta get
absolutely.
the staff in because I couldn't do a million.
Get the quality up there first.
Different clients, right? But I do love what I do, and I am involved in the community in that aspect of talking to people at high schools, at the colleges, and kind of seeing what they like and how they can get into this world as well. So.
That's incredible. And in addition to not only being plugged in here locally on the fashion show world, but also in Richmond. And I had to make a note here. Can you tell us a little bit more about this Virginia Swim Week?
Yes, Virginia Swim Week. So that is a collaboration with Dapper Luke, Team Lamb, and RVA Fashion Week. So RVA Fashion Week is one of the kind of major fashion weeks that we have here. They're not in the 757, they're in the 804 Richmond, but I have a presence here when it comes to fashion in the 757. So they wanted to kind of create one collaborative event that, all of Virginia can come to, and it also emphasizes, swimwear, right? We have an amazing Virginia Beach. We're a coastal area. Why would we not have a swim week?
Why not? I mean, we're at the beach,
Correct. We are ocean, literally you can be oceanside in 15 minutes, right? So why not have a swim week? So we did a kind of teaser back in 2022. This year, 2023, we did our inaugural, which was at 24th Street Park at the ocean front. And then next year, we're going to try to do like just a really big one to kind of bring down folks from Northern Virginia, 804, kind of come to this area, have, a few days of amazing fashion show, showcase local designers, local brands like Coastal Edge, Team Lamb. We had Following Dory. We had Fanny's House collection. So we had quite a few designers from the Hampton Roads area that we showcase, and we want to do that as well as showcase some brands. So there were some sponsors that, I don't know if they're going to come back, so I won't say their names just yet. But, we do want to bring everyone down to the Hampton Roads area to kind of see this area and have an amazing few days of fashion as well.
Absolutely. And, I love the 804 Richmond area, but you guys don't have a beach. I'm sorry. Nova, we had another agent from Nova.
A river or a lake up there, but they don't have a beach.
I think it's a creek. I'm not sure if it's that big. You got to go boating, you go to North Carolina. Anyways. But yeah, so that's very exciting. And lots of community involvement as well as collaborations. I love that. I mean,
Absolutely.
A lot of industries you might see from a consumer standpoint, it's like, the big, Google and Apple phone, use that as a wide analogy here. They're always competing, and, the green messages and the blue messages, they're not really willing to work together. But here at Dapper Luke, Luke, you are on it. You are making things happen despite it being, similar customer base. I love that. Now, when it comes to your approach to fashion, is there anything specifically you do within the community that really helps kind of, stand out, show people what you have going on, aside from, a private booking session, in addition to the fashion shows?
The biggest thing for me is, like you say, fashion shows, being in a community as far as events. I try to attend a lot of networking events, business kind of networking events. Outside of that, just like I said, my everyday presence. The majority of the time, if you see me at an event, I'm going to be in a suit, blazer of some kind.
Dapper Luke.
Showcase.
Always Dapper
It's my
Luke.
lifestyle,
Yeah.
And so just kind of seeing colors and styles you wouldn't normally see, I think is kind of important because your presence says a lot. I'm definitely, because I'm in the fashion industry, I'm very aware of how I look and how I carry myself whenever I'm around other people. So just kind of having that confidence and, making sure that everything fits properly, looks well tailored, and, is clean, I think is very important. So that's why I kind of present myself when I'm out and about.
I love that. So, I know you got to get back to custom tailoring clothes and making things happen here. So we are going to transition to our next section, our rapid fire questions.
Okay.
I hope you haven't started to read any of these. These questions are quick and fast, rapid fire.
I don't know what they are.
You can answer with as much or as little detail as you like. Luke, are you ready?
I think I'm ready.
Currently, what is your favorite suit color or style?
My favorite suit color is green, like I mentioned before. I love the color green, so I have a couple different hues of green. I don't have a green plaid or a green pinstripe, but I do have two greens. One is a 2-button, one is a 6-button double-breasted green suits that I have that are amazing fit.
Love it. What is one of the most memorable events that you have been a part of or hosted yourself within the collaboration realm?
Does it have to be here in Hampton Roads area?
Does not have to be in Hampton Roads area.
When I did a fashion pop-up in South Africa, right? So I was a stylist at the time working for Clavin Leonard, and we had this idea to go to an area called Mobene, which would be the equivalent of like going to Virginia Beach Town Center, just kind of an open shopping area. So people were there at restaurants, bars, and we literally stopped traffic and we did a fashion show with his collection. And everyone kind of went crazy, right? It was an amazing experience. So just kind of having the ability to do that, I think was really fun and something I'll never forget.
Wow. That's incredible. You just showed up and
we
people,
we had
got it started.
20 models all in his clothing. We were in the middle of the street. People, and it was kind of funny because there was several restaurants around us that had outdoor seating. So the people were having a show eating, and the cars were, of course, beginning to honk because they wanted us to get out of the middle of the street. And everyone's like, no, they're staying. This is an amazing show. You need to go around or back up or something. So
put it in park, bro. Down the windows.
we're gonna enjoy this. But it took about 10 minutes. It wasn't very long. But yeah, we did a pop-up fashion show in the middle of, like in Times Square almost, and it was amazing. Everyone enjoyed it.
Sounds very, very memorable for sure. What is one, and this could be living or non-living, fashion icon that you look up to, you admire, you kind of pull inspiration from, is kind of the origin of Dapper Luke?
Wow. That I don't know if I have one individual. I do like, Dapper Dan out of, Harlem. I did not get my name from him, even though everyone thinks I did. But I like his style. I like his influence on fashion. Clavin Leonard, like I said, he's my mentor. I will never forget him. He's an amazing influence on me. Just as far as an individual, just back in, I think, the 60s, everyone kind of wore a suit, right? It was everyone's, if you were anyone of prestige, you had a suit on. So if you look back at any photos of the 60s, even the 50s, right? Everyone had a suit. So that's kind of like I just love that historic, and the timelessness of a suit. And so that's what I tend to look for. But I also, appreciate the modern aspects of suits, the patterns, the styles, and things that we do now. But I guess there's not one individual that I can be like, that's my guy. But I'm inspired by anyone that wears a suit and wears it well. So.
Love it. Luke, thank you for that. And of course, mentioning suits here, is there a go-to accessory for a suit that regardless of what suit you're wearing, what time of year it is, that you always must accompany with a suit?
For me, I'm always going to have on a pocket square, right? Sometimes I wear a lapel pin, the little pin, but I always have a pocket square. And to me, a pocket square is important because, the pocket almost seems naked to me without it. So like I have on a tie and a tie clip right now, but there's times I don't want to wear it because it'll be warm outside. I kind of want to cool down.
Sure.
But if I ever have a blazer on, I will always have a pocket square. And that's the one accessory I will always have. Sometimes it's, complimenting, sometimes it's loud, but I will always keep a pocket square whenever I have on a blazer or suit.
Nice. What's a trend in men's fashion right now that you're currently really not too fond of? Or one that you might want to just delete from the archives altogether?
So for me, really tight clothing, right? I don't know what made people move towards very tight fit clothing, but to me, it's uncomfortable looking. I consider, I guess, a middle-aged man. I'm in my 40s, right? And I think your clothing should not be so tight on you that you can barely move or sit down or breathe, right? So I wish they would go away from tight clothing. Your clothing should fit you well. It should complement the body style that you have, whatever body style that is, right? And the tone should fit your skin tone. So that's the way I think clothing should fit and look. Naturally fit, not tight or, trying to regain this youth that you lost. Hey, if dress, I don't even want to say dress age appropriate, but just wear it so that it fits you. That's all I'll say.
Yeah.
Right?
So don't dress like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Basically, it's what we want. Yeah.
You don't have to be skin tight. You don't have to be skin tight.
Love it. That's a great tip. Great tip. What is a book? I know you mentioned one before earlier, but maybe possibly another one, or if you want to expand on that one, that has really inspired you in your career, both in the military journey and also in the clothing line journey as well.
So we did say mastery. That was kind of what got me on this fashion journey, right? So now that I'm, kind of looking at the next stage of my life, a book that I really love is The Richest Man in Babylon, right? I think that's a very good book to read and kind of understand because, at the end of the day, I think, whatever profession that you're in, you're doing it for a reason, to hopefully one day pass it on to your family member or have something that when you're in your golden years, you're not having to work. So understanding and reading and learning The Richest Man in Babylon and his thought process, I think is really good as you kind of begin to build your own wealth within your lifetime.
Excellent recommendation for sure. Coffee or tea while designing?
I'm a tea guy. I drink a lot of tea. Matter of fact, I usually don't eat in the morning or in the afternoon. I don't eat until 6 o'clock at night, but I'll have a cup of tea and a bottle of water throughout the day. So I'm a tea guy.
You don't eat anything during the day until 6?
I usually fast for the day.
Oh, interesting.
I've only been doing it for about 2 months now. It's like it's a lifetime thing. But
okay.
Again, I'll get up, I have a cup of tea. In the afternoon, I may have a bottle or two of water, and then I'll eat dinner at 6 p.m. and then I stop eating at 9 p.m. at night.
Okay. If you don't mind me asking, is the tea loaded with vitamins and minerals? My wife, she does that. It's like a tea bag with like 50 vitamins. It kind of just dissolves in there.
Mine is not. I have a couple different teas. You have green, ginger, black tea. It's not full of any nutrients, and I should take a daily. I've been on kind of a somewhat weight loss journey. I'm not trying to lose a lot of weight, but over the last month and a half, I have lost 15 pounds. I want to get down.
You look great, by the way.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
It's very noticeable.
I don't think that
I saw your Instagram pictures right now.
Yeah, I don't. It's like this amazing. I lost 100 pounds. No, I did not lose 100 pounds. But I just feel as though, and it's kind of funny when you don't eat throughout the day. Like it's not like you would think I'm gonna eat all this food when 6 o'clock hit. But literally, I don't have the craving as much. With the tea and the water. And then when I do eat, I normally eat one meal with the family, and then I have a couple snacks, and then I'm done eating for today.
There you go. What's some of your go-to snacks?
Definitely trail mix. I got trail mix. I always have like a little bit of trail mix all over the place.
Classic.
So I take trail mix. I am a big chip guy, so love some chips. My Utz is a Baltimore brand I like to keep. It's kind of hard to find sometimes here in the Hampton Roads area.
Solid choice.
Utz chips. And then outside of that, I may have a little ice cream sandwich. My daughter loves to, eat ice cream sandwiches, so I try to keep them. I'm more catered toward my daughter what her snacks are than mine personally. So.
That's very sweet. Yes. Gotta do the ice cream sandwich, and we gotta brush our teeth. Yeah, we gotta do those too.
Yes, close the day out with a nice toothbrush. Yes.
Love it. A couple more for you. So from fast fashion to sweatpants to versatile comfort, where is the line that you draw in the sand from comfort to just plain slouchy, and you should probably just stay on the couch if you're going to wear that, not go out in public?
So I'll tell you right now, if I am not dapper, I am probably sweats and a t-shirt, right? And I'm not a label person. I love me some Walmart sweats, right? They're very comfortable and they're cheap, right? But that's kind of where you'll see me, right? Most folks think, dapper, I go to my mailbox with a suit on. I don't. I go with, sweats, t-shirt, and some Crocs, right? That's kind of where I love. And I think, when you're not in your profession, be comfortable. And I don't think you have to have necessarily a label or a brand on to be comfortable. So, again, if I'm not dressed up, I do not own a lot of tennis shoes. Most of my shoes are hard bottom shoes. I have a few tennis shoes. And then, like I said, Crocs are comfortable. Whenever I'm traveling, some folks, travel, they say, I got to be in a suit and I am in Crocs, sweats.
I think of those guys back in the day at the beach. In the 20s and 30s, you see them in their full suits. And I'm just like, what are they thinking?
Yeah.
That's why they didn't have a Virginia Beach swim event back then either, did they?
No, that's probably why they did not. No.
They're all passing out of dehydration, too hot.
The baseball games, even looking at the 1940s, they were all in suits, and I'm like, that just doesn't seem comfortable to me, right?
Yeah.
To be at a baseball game all day long. But, that was uniform back then.
Sure.
But yeah, like I said, be comfortable. Sweats are a good way to do it.
I love it. So Dapper, Mr. Dapper, for someone on the fence, someone on the fence that are like, I like this idea. I'd like to eventually get some suits. Maybe, it's a cost association. Maybe it's just, they aren't quite ready to take the dive. What are some base clothing articles or some base, just custom gear that they can go ahead and start working on now? That way, when they do call you up and say, Mr. Dapper, I'm ready, they're all good to go.
So for me, we mentioned it earlier, but a blue or a gray suit is something that every guy should have in their wardrobe, right? Because it's the most universal suit color. You can do any shirt color with gray, like yellow, blue, black, white, pink, light blue, any of that can be worn. You can wear black, blue shoes, brown shoes, right? So I think that if you're gonna get started, do a blue or gray suit. then get you a range of button-up shirt colors, right? And then a few ties, and then, you know, kind of get your shoe game going. When I have a client, we're kind of building out a wardrobe, we pick 2 colors, you know, blue, black, gray, tan, brown, right? We'll pick 2 of those colors, and within that, then we'll begin to have it so they can mix and match, right? So you can wear a gray blazer, blue pants, kind of what I have on right now, literally today. All right, so it just kind of gives you the ability to have, you know, 2 to 3 suits, but when you break it down, you have, you know, 9 different looks that you can accomplish with those 3 suit items. So
that is a great tip. That is a great tip, especially for someone on the fence too. Like myself, I'm like, hey, every time I put on a suit, you know, a baby throws up on me or something crazy happens. So it's definitely a great tip. Last one for you, and this goes to the apprenticeship earlier that you mentioned. You know, any advice for someone starting out in the fashion industry, aside from giving you a call and starting the apprenticeship journey when that starts? Any advice or any like key principles to just take with them before they begin, you know, their journey in the fashion industry?
I would say in any industry, right? So I think finding a mentor is very important, right? For 2 reasons, right? First, you know, a lot of times you'll see something, you know, and it'll kind of catch your eye, right? But you're not seeing the full spectrum. Like I'm sure when you got into the world of real estate, what you thought the world of real estate was and what you found out what it was when you were in there were 2 different things, right?
Very, very different.
So having an apprentice that can kind of get you to that point of this is what it actually is much quicker, I think is definitely important, right? And then don't be afraid to take your time and learn, right? In this generation, a lot of us, you know, we think we go to YouTube, we watch 3 videos and we're the master of anything.
And you built a car. You can build a car with 3 YouTube videos, right?
3 YouTube videos. You can, you know, build a house, right? But, you know, take the time to actually learn your profession, learn the trade, learn whatever you're going to go into, right? And then also understanding that learning is part of the journey, right? I am so knowledgeable because I really took the time to learn, and it actually interests me. So again, you know, if you're going to get into anything, find someone that's already in there that you can kind of learn from, ask questions, kind of, you know, pull you along with them, and then just take your time. You don't have to be in a rush. You know, if it's anything that's going to last, it's going to take time. So be willing to take that time.
Just like a well-made suit, right?
There you go.
It's going to take 5 to 6 weeks, 21 days if we're rushing.
If we're rushing, and we don't like the rush.
No, absolutely not. And I could imagine that the brides and the grooms who have strict timetables don't either. So
Correct.
Absolutely, go ahead and book some time with Luke. Look, this has been a great conversation. I'd love to roll out the virtual red carpet for you. I normally say virtual, but I don't have a physical red carpet, so I'll say virtual red carpet.
I had one. You should have told me. I would have brought it.
Oh, shoot. Okay, we'll just edit it out and we'll put a virtual red carpet here. Anything that you want to leave our audience with today, any final messages or shout outs with a disclaimer that everything that Dapper Luke has going on with his association and his business will be in the link in the description below, from social media profiles to links to book directly.
Yes, absolutely. All I say is dapperluke.com, DAPPERLUQ.com. Hopefully the link is below or above or wherever it's going to wind up. But at the end of the day, no. If you want to reach out to me in any capacity, please do. I am an open book when it comes to me, my journey, what I've gone through. And I guess I love the world of fashion. I love this industry, so I hope to be here for quite a while. Thank you for having me. This was an amazing interview. Good luck on your real estate journey and your podcast journey as well. And if you need anything else from me, please let me know.
Absolutely. And thank you all for listening to this episode. We hope to catch you on another one. And if you're still listening to audio version, definitely go and check out the video version, because we have a full tour coming your way of everything that Dapper Luke has to offer. Go and check it out.